Hey guys, this is Comics G-Man. I got a big video planned for today. It's going to be about the Doom Patrol Season 1 specifically, though. We're going to talk about first because there's a lot to cover here, man. This is a big season that has like 15 episodes ranging from 45 minutes to 59 minutes each, well, not counting the intros and the credits. This is a huge show to cover. I'm currently on season 2 right now, loving it also. But I want to talk about specifically what I loved about Doom Patrol season 1. So we'll go down that list of why I enjoyed this show episode by episode as best as I can. To anybody who, I'm sure most of you are already familiar with Doom Patrol, but if you're not, if you're totally like, you don't read comics at all or you're not familiar with this kind of stuff, just for a quick background, Doom Patrol is like a very, very obscure comic that started off like in, I believe, 1963. Started with my greatest adventures, but I'm reading it in order. So right now, I'm reading the Silver Age where they first started, and I'm enjoying this. I only read about 50 pages of this book so far. This is of the DC Showcase line where they were trying to be like what Marvel did. Marvel made these prints of essential Marvel books where you could buy them, and they were in black and white, cheap, affordable volumes that collected like all the original comics from like the 60s, the 70s, So DC Showcase, they had their equivalent too. And you see the comics are all in black and white. It's a great affordable way to read all the old comics, and it's still, even if you buy these books, I mean, I got these for pretty decent prices on eBay a few years ago, but I'm sure the prices have went up a bit if you try to get these. But even if, it's more cheaper to still buy a book like this than to go back and collect all of the old Silver Age. I mean, I saw like number 108 of Doom Patrol going for like a couple $100, dude. So you'd be better off getting these showcase books if you really, really want to, have a physical version of these stories and read them in your lap. But if you're somebody who doesn't care about that, like you don't need a physical book to read, you could also find these very easily online and not pay for them. I won't say on here for, YouTube reasons where to go. You could figure that out yourself. But there's so many ways to do it. But I do have a lot of digital comics myself, but for the ones that I really, really am passionate about, I want a physical, any version of it, whether it's a trade paperback, a collected volume like this, or a hardcovers, you know what I mean? Because I like to physically read. It's a different experience than digital. It's a bit more memorable. I hate to say it. But yeah, anyway, also, there's then the 1987 run, which was from issues 1 to 19, which I don't have yet. I ordered all of the issues from numbers 1 to 87, all the way from the Paul Kupperberg run and the Grant Morrison run, which I already have the hardcover edition of, which I have not read yet. I'm going to work up to this, but I prefer now, I'm waiting for the single issues to come in the mail, and I'm going to read it like the old-fashioned way, because I fucking love Doom Patrol so much, the show, where I'm like, I gotta have the goddamn issues and read them issue by issue, like when they were coming out, because I just gotta read this shit that old-fashioned way. And here's a hardcover of the Rachel Pollack one. And the only ones that I'm missing now that I did order, let me see if I could show you which ones I got real quick. Let's just go offbeat here. Let me show you what I ordered that's on the way. So what I am missing is, I also got some Creature Commandos, which we'll talk about in the future. And so I got Doom Patrol number 1 to 22, a 2001 run. I got John Byrne's run from 2004. And I got a hardcover by Keith Giffen and Matthew Clark, which was 2009. Now, I could have gotten the Keith Giffen one in issues, but it was an extra like $40 for that. And what was good about the hardcover one was it comes with not only all of Keith Giffen's run, but it also comes with some kind of event that was happening. I think it was like a some kind of a DC event. I never actually read it, so I'm curious about it. Where are you? Yes, look, it shows here all of the stuff here. Secret Six and pages from Secret Six. Where was it? Am I? Oh, here it is. Aftermath Four Horsemen, number 1 to 6. That's what this came with. So it's acceptable condition, but I thought like, hey, it's a lot cheaper than buying them issue by issue in this case, so I'm gonna go for it. Now the ones that were this one wasn't actually that expensive. I was reading about this one by what's his name, John Acrudi, this run, and I didn't hear great things about it. But then I heard that someone make a comment on Reddit where this is basically like a Robot Man, like solo, like it's really more focused on Robot Man. So I'm curious to see that. I like Robot Man a lot, so I picked this up. And the Doom Patrol by John Byrne, which I know from what I was reading on the internet, this run is considered the worst of the Doom Patrol run, but I still want to read it myself anyway because I do like some of John Byrne's stuff with Superman. It did get me into Superman, so I have to, for respect out of that, I have to give it a shot. But I did hear some bad things about this run. And lastly, I'll probably make a video about unboxing the Grant Morrison stuff I bought. Because look, I bought all this. I know, I went a little crazy, but I bought all this. Doom Patrol 1 to 87 with annuals 1 and 2 by Grant Morrison. So I can't wait to see this. Because getting, I was like, well, I'll just get the 1987 hardcover edition with the 1 to 18. But that hardcover book is going for like $150 now. $150, $168. So I figured for an extra $50, dude, I'll get Kupperberg, Morrison, and Rachel Pollack's all of their issues in one. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll do that. So I'll have the complete everything Doom Patrol. Maybe the only things I'll be missing are like the newest stuff they're doing now. But I do have the next level stuff subscribed. Pre-ordered, I mean. So yeah, I'll make a video on that in the future, unboxing this stuff. So let's get down to why Doom Patrol Season 1 is just fantastic as a superhero show. Probably, for me, one of the best shows so far. Season 1 was so good. So if we go down to Episode 1, the pilot, the team decides to visit the local town while the chief is away. But the seemingly harmless field trip leads to some grave consequences. So, obviously the pilot, it introduces us to everybody from, Brandon Fraser's Robot Man, Cliff Steele. And he's like a race car driver, and he's like kind of a douchebag who's cheating on his wife, and he has a daughter and stuff. And it shows, like, he wanted to be a good man, but he just couldn't pull it off because he just was always giving in to the cheating and the fame, and he started off as a poor guy, and he goes all the way up to the fame. And then they show you, like, how he was being made from, turned into a robot. He just has, his brain is inside of just this robot thing because he got into an accident. In this episode, they make you think it's just an accident that he just got into. Spoiler alert. And he dies, except his brain. And Dr. Niles turns him into Robot Man, but he keeps him basically as a robot for years and years. He tells him that his wife and daughter are both dead from the accident. So, like, there's some really great acting moments with Brandon Fraser's Robot Man. Then there's Rita Farr. She's fucking awesome. I love her character so much. Like, this actress does such a good job with Rita Farr. Let me keep going here. Let me see what other images I could conjure up. Larry, Negative Man. He's got a very troubled past. He was a closet homosexual who had a family. He was in the Air Force, had a wife and 2 boys, but he was a closet homosexual. And he was kind of tormenting himself and ruining his family and ruining his love with the guy. And he gets into an accident in the jet, and it gives him these powers as Negative Man, where he falls asleep and this negative energy comes out and it's able to fly around and do whatever it wants. Doom Patrol fans already know who these guys are, but I'm just saying this for anybody who has not watched the show or is not familiar with the Doom Patrol. Yeah, like there's a scene where he's going into this like plasma cloud in space, makes him crash into Earth. His body becomes totally irradiated and dangerous, and he gets this like other being that comes out of him. But they live in this mansion with Dr. Niles for like over forever, dude. I mean, Rita was his first experiment. She's like a blob lady. She accidentally turns into a blob when she's feeling terrible about herself. But in the comics, like she's basically like Mr. Fantastic. She's able to like stretch and do like turn giant or turn small. Like even in the very first comics, like that's her power. I'm not sure when the blob thing comes in. I don't know. That's probably a Grant Morrison part I didn't get to yet. But at least in the Silver Age books that I'm reading so far, like Rita is just like Mr. Fantastic. I think it's really cool. Let me see if I can find some pictures here. Yeah, like here's I don't know if you can see this black and white image, but like in that comic she makes herself giant so she could save a bunch of people who were buried underneath a mountain, and she like uses her nail to get a piece of ice from a lake, pick it up, and use it like as a shovel. So like they do some really cool stuff with her in the comics, and it's just the acting in this. I mean, between the Doctor, Larry, Rita, Robot Man, Jane. Crazy Jane doesn't show up right away in this episode, but like here is where they're showing Rita's origin story, where she was an actress from like the 50s working in Africa in this scene. And like they show you she's very spoiled, she's very doesn't care about anybody else but herself, and she has to do like some weird scene on a lake, and she falls down the board, falls into the water, and there's like this weird gooey stuff that she swallows, and it like turns her into this, right? Like she like becomes this like disgusting thing, and it's kind of metaphoric though, because she's so beautiful, but inside at this time of her life she's very like mean, very shallow, doesn't care about anybody but herself. So it's kind of like karma in a way, but not. I don't know how else to say it. But there's so many things that, well, what I loved about episode 1 too, like Brandon Fraser's performance as Robot Man is just so good. So he's like trying to learn how to walk as Robot Man. He can't. It's taken him very long. So like he's thinking of his daughter, and like she helps his imagination of thinking of his daughter, which he thinks his daughter died in the car accident, by the way. And you know, he's like right there, he sees her bringing him up the stairs and helping him walk. Like there's some really beautiful imagery throughout this entire show. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, man. This is just me, and I know there are a lot of people, like when I've been bringing it up, like at work, for example, like no one likes this show. Nobody likes what I like. That's fine. That's fine. I just got a totally different taste, I guess. You know. But yeah, like I like Brandon Fraser a lot, so it was really cool to see him in this. But I mean, he really, like, this is a side of Brandon Fraser that I've never actually seen before. And I love it. I absolutely love it. He's like a robot that curses a lot. He gets angry all the time. He has no patience with anybody. But the only thing that kind of keeps him tethered a little bit is Crazy Jane, who shows up eventually. Oh, she does show up in episode 1. I'm sorry. So yeah, Crazy Jane, who has like 64 personalities. In the beginning of the show, like he kind of looks at her like his daughter. And me and my mom and I were saying, like, wait a minute, what if Crazy Jane is his actual daughter? But no, it doesn't turn out to be his actual daughter. That would have been cool, but she's just like a psychological thing for him. Like he looks at her like a daughter figure, and he still wants to be like a father figure because, you know, he lost all of that time as a father. He didn't get to finish raising his daughter and being a father, but he was a fuck up anyway. So that's like the dilemma about it. Like, you know, but yeah, like Crazy Jane is a great character. I just absolutely love everything about this show. and just the weirdness of it. So what happens is they've been in the mansion for like, in this episode, they've been in the mansion for like 30 or 40 years and they never leave. And they finally in 2019, like Niles goes out to do something and they decide, and he's, they're not supposed to leave the house, but they leave the house and they go into this like town and nothing really bad happens. But what happens is this villain called Mr. Nobody discovers them, who apparently he's been looking for Niles all this time. And like there's this donkey from Paraguay, and they literally suck up the entire town into another dimension in this episode. And it's like hilarious. It's crazy, dude. Like some crazy shit happens in this episode. Alright, so let me skip that now. Let me read you episode 2. The Doom Patrol investigates the albino donkey and discovers it's a door to another universe. Right, so this is the episode where Cyborg comes in, and let me tell you something, right? I'm not a Cyborg fan, like usually. Yeah, Teen Titans cartoon show, he's great, but most of all, he's okay. Like, I'm not crazy about cyber characters in general, like when Cyberpunk 2077 came out and I used to play video games, I didn't care about it because I just don't like the futuristic cyberpunk aspects of stuff. But I gotta tell you, dude, like the way they do Cyborg in this, like he's a really good Cyborg. I like him a lot better than what Snyder did in Justice League. Like in Justice League, he's like so serious, so dark, and even when he lightens up a little bit in Snyder's cut, he's still like, you know what I mean? Like he's just not fun. But this guy, he's got a bit of seriousness, but when he lightens up, like he's like normal. I like the Cyborg in this. So he comes in. Oh, that's Mr. Nobody, by the way. Like he's like this really cool, really. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Nobody is the same guy who voices the Joker in Harley Quinn cartoon show. So double plus, man, because I love that guy's voice. And so in this, when he's like narrating, like he does this like a fourth wall stuff where he's narrating the episode almost, Mr. Nobody. It's fantastic, dude, because this guy's voice is so good. He's such a good voice actor. So yeah, this is like after the whole town was swallowed up pretty much. Jane was swallowed up. And it's just Robot Man, Rita, and Larry left. And they're like trying to figure out what happens. I forgot how Victor gets involved, but Victor pretty much comes in. Yeah, like they're showing here like some woman is about to get like robbed and mugged on the street by a guy. And Cyborg like stops that. He like gets in the way of it and saves her from being mugged. He uses like his hacking stuff. Like here he is right here, Cyborg. I don't remember the details of how he gets involved exactly, but in this version, Niles and Silas, who is Cyborg's father, they knew each other, and you find out like later on in the show, like these guys knew each other for like a long time, like since the 70s or 60s. They were like in this thing called the Department of Normalcy. So what's so great about this too, about Cyborg's story in this show, is it gives Cyborg so much better depth than the Snyder Cut, and it gives his dynamic between Silas like so much more interest in this. They do a lot more interesting stuff with the father and son in this than they did in the movie, and I really enjoyed this actor and how he portrays Cyborg. So yeah, let me go on here. Where are we? Is this when they... So I think eventually in this, they figure out that the donkey... Yeah, here's the donkey. The poor donkey. I feel so bad for the donkey. The donkey is like the key to the other dimension where the town was sucked up in, where they got to save everybody. And they figure out like how to get inside the donkey with Rita. And they get sucked up into the other dimension pretty much. It's wild stuff, man. Like it's really crazy stuff. But it works. For me, it works. So they eventually get into the town. There's Crazy Jane showing all her different personalities. Where am I here, guys? Oh, this is when they go into the donkey. Like you see, Cyborg sees that the donkey has some kind of dimensional lock inside of its mouth, and Rita puts her eye in it, but then she gets like sucked up into the dimension. It's weird. It's very weird. But it works, man, and it's hilarious. Like I was laughing, we were laughing our asses off the whole time. the whole time. Here's Cyborg, like when he was getting torn up and turned into Cyborg by his father. Some really crazy scenes. And I really like how this show is not afraid to get like bloody and violent, but the way they do it, it works. It's not like overly done. It's just right. That's how Larry looks without the bandages. By the way, he's like really fucked up. Um, and he tries to communicate with the negative spirit sometimes, but for a while, like he can't communicate with it. He figures it out by the end of the season. But there's some really good dynamics too with that. All right, so let's go to episode 3. Puppet Patrol. The Doom Patrol sets out for Paraguay and discovers Dr. Von Fuchs. Well, it's Fuchs, but it sounds like Fucks. And they obviously joke about that too in the show. So yeah, like they have to travel to Paraguay by bus. They have this black bus that they travel to. And, you know, we obviously learn more about the characters. We learn more about Larry's homosexual relationship when he was younger. How he fucked up everything in his life. We learn a little bit more about Cyborg here. I keep saying I'm sorry, guys. They're on a road trip together, but they eventually get split up because Crazy Jane uses her teleportation personality to bring her and Robot Man to Dr. Von Fuchs' place, which is where they learn about Mr. Nobody, Dr. Niles, experimentation, the search for immortality, all these weird things here. And they got like this whole funny like puppet show going on that they're watching, like over here. And it's like explaining Dr. Fuchs's whole like his whole origin story with a puppet show and how Dr. Niles fucked him up and ruined his experimentation. And it's really funny actually. And this guy Dr. Fuchs, like he controls these like weird like Dutch people that are dressed up like they're like I don't know. And it's really funny. This is a funny episode. Another one I was laughing at a lot. Let me just go down here a bit. Yeah, there's Dr. Fuchs, or Dr. Fucks, right? As Robot Man says. He's like in a tube. He doesn't move, and he just has all these servants doing what he wants with his mind, pretty much. And it's pretty crazy. And then he sets them all out against them, and there's this scene. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here they are right here. Like there's all Dr. Fuchs' servants all under his mind control. And they like attack like Crazy Jane and Mr. Robot Man. I don't know why I keep saying that. And like Robot Man goes crazy, dude. Like he rips them in half, he beats the shit out of them. It's like a bloody ass like fight scene. And Crazy Jane is like she kills a few people too with her other personality, but not as like bloody and brutal as Robot Man. And you know, she talks shit at Robot Man like, "Oh, you're such toxic masculinity. Look how horrible. Look at all the horror you inflicted. Such anger." I mean, it was kind of hypocritical. So, like, Crazy Jane did some crazy killing, too. But, yeah, dude, they even killed Dr. Fox in this. So that was funny. And, you know, the show was kind of making me think that the gay guy that Larry was in love with when he was younger died and was somehow the negative spirit in him, but he's not. That would have been cool, though. This is a scene where, like, Larry, after the attack, after he crash landed his jet and survived somehow and was irradiated, they keep Larry, when they first took him out, in like a radiation pod, and people would like visit him and talk to him through the microphone. The wife comes in at one point and she's like, I can't do this anymore. And Larry's like, I'll try to be better. And the wife was like, I'm leaving. I hope everything gets better for you, Larry. But that's it. I'm leaving. I'm leaving your life. And she leaves. And then his lover comes in, John. And John is like trying to, pep up Larry. He's trying to pep up Larry a bit. And Larry is not answering him at all. Like he's tearing up. He's not answering him. And then he finally tells his lover, he tells him, just go. Just go. Like, because Larry is so disgusted with himself. He doesn't feel like he can't love anybody. He's a monster now. And he just tells him to go. And that's the last he ever sees of John. So, like, the Larry scenes, to me, really great acting. I don't know who the actor is who plays Larry, but there was some really great stuff in this. And what this show gets right, this is how the Fantastic Four should be. like, I feel like these guys are like a fucking odd family, and it just works somehow. It just works for me. You know, like, this is what I wanted to see in Fantastic Four. Like, this level of dynamic with the characters. Oh, this was like some running joke, Vegetable Mineral Man. This guy, like, was left in the chamber too long, and he grew like a dinosaur head and broccoli hands. But in his actual character in the comic, I saw him when I was just flipping through. I saw him show up. So, but that was just a running joke, I think. Which episode was this? Episode 3, right? Puppet Patrol. Okay, so let me go to episode 4, Colt Patrol. So Niles' old friend, who's like a Constantine character, he's like a magician, unexpectedly enlists the Doom Patrol into helping him avert the end of the world.
If we look at the fundamentals...
No, don't play that. I don't want copyright strike. No copyright strike. So, this was a really good episode, too. I honestly thought, like, this British guy that comes in... Oh, let me explain this to you real quick. So, this is about... They're showing you here... Hold on. There's this kid named Elliot. And they're showing him, like, growing up with his parents. And, like, they're showing him having a birthday. And he's, like, got, like, tattoos, like, from childbirth to, like, as he grows into 18. And he's got, like, these writings on his body. And they're telling him, like, oh, you're supposed to save the world. You're supposed to do this. But it turns out, like, he's actually a book for this thing called the D-Creator. And he's actually, like, supposed to bring in the end of the world. And the father, like, tells him the truth at his 18th birthday. The father's like, Elliot, you gotta get out of here, son. You're actually here to end the world. And the mother fucking, like, kills the father, slices his throat for saying it. Because she wants Elliot to bring about the end of the world. And so this Constantine character comes in. I call him Constantine because he looks like Constantine. I mean, he made me think of him. He doesn't look like him. If I could find him, I can't. Here he is. So no, he doesn't look like Constantine, but he talks like him and he acts like him, but he's not Constantine. But he was really funny, and he's like asking them for their help to stop the D-Creator from coming into fruition. And what's so cool about this episode is it literally takes the Doom Patrol name to the absolute brink. So they're trying to figure out throughout the episode how to stop this from happening. And they have to go to this place called, like, Nirnheim or something, which turns out to be, like, literally a fucking world inside of a snow globe, which is hilarious. Robot Man and Jane get caught up in Nirnheim. Rita and Larry get left behind to watch Elliot, who they save from his crazy mother, who is trying to transcend her mortal body and become, like, this immortal in Nirnheim. I mean, it sounds wild, bro. I'm not even doing the show a favor the way I'm explaining it. But it is a load of fun, man. I enjoyed this shit so much. And Rita really shined in this because she was trying to have, like, compassion for the boy. And the Constantine character is like, all we have to do is kill Elliot, and this will all be over. Like, burn his body, get rid of him, make sure the cultists don't read the words on his body, and bring about the end of the world. And obviously, like, you know, Cyborg, Robot Man, you know, Crazy Jane and Rita are like, and Larry, they're like, no, we're not going to kill a boy. There's got to be another way. So, you know, they're going through all this stuff, and let me see here. What happens here? I'm just trying to jog a little bit here. Oh, and they fight like these beings that are made out of paper. There's really cool stuff going on here. But it doesn't work out because what happens is the cultists eventually do get a hold of the boy. They get a hold of the boy. If I could get a shot of that here. No. Oh, and here, by the way, is Nirnheim. This is where they got Jane and Robot Man trapped inside of the snow globe. And here's the wife, the mother of Elliot. The father is dead. She sliced his throat. There he is, like, in his ascended god form, but he's, like, dead because she sliced his throat in the mortal world, and it's just her, and it's, like, just fucking wild, bro. Just fucking wild. But yeah, the cultists get a hold of Elliot. Yeah, like, see, here's one of the cultists. They're doing their ritual. They read everything on his body, and then you see, like, this giant eye in the sky that shows up, and the eye, If I get a shot of it, can I get a shot of you? I guess not. I guess I can't get a shot. But basically, the eye in the sky like just starts looking at things and it disappears. Like, obviously Illuminati symbolism, right? But whatever. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, it is. There's the eye. So like this eye in the sky, it doesn't happen too quick. It's slow, but like it starts like obliterating people's existence. Like it just looks at you and it erases you from time. So it was really cool. Really crazy cool. Episode 5, Paw Patrol. With the apocalypse in full swing, the Doom Patrol must work with an unlikely ally and a very special pug to stop the end of the world. So this is just the conclusion of, oh no, don't play, I don't want copyright, no copyright, please. It's because I left it on too long, I guess. Shit, let me mute that. No, don't play. There's Mr. Nobody. That's the actor who plays him. That's how he looks like normally when he's not like Mr. Nobody. Okay, this is kind of convoluted to explain, right? So they couldn't defeat the Deconstructor and the cult. And Mr. Nobody doesn't want this to work either because he wants the world for himself. So he makes a deal with Niles that he's going to go back in time to Crazy Jane when she was in like the psych ward in the 1970s or so. And he like gets her to literally create an opposite cult in the past to bring about something called the Recreator, which is the opposite of the Decreator. So like he literally goes back in time to Crazy Jane and talks to her personality, one of her personalities named Dr. Harrison, who has the ability to like kind of hypnotize people and get them to do what she wants. So he uses the Dr. Harrison personality to seed a bunch of cultists in the psych ward and, you know, bring about like the same kind of thing, except it's an opposite. And instead of it being a human book, they make it like a dog that has the words in it to conjure up the Recreator. Here they're just showing you Dr. Harrison's the personality and what she's able to do. Oh, this is like really cool too. What happens here? I don't like Rita. Elliot here like is the guy who brought about the end of the world unknowingly, and because his body was basically the book, and he feels like suicidal. He feels depressed. He feels worthless. And in this scene, like Rita is trying to like talk him up and make him feel better about it, and that hope is not all lost. And it's he's feeling a little better, and she's like, well, what did you always want to do? And guess what? He fucking disappears. The Decreator makes him disappear like right in front of her, and it's like so good, dude. The act, I can't even, like, he disappears and her face starts to sag because the blob thing she has is like, whenever she gets stressed out, she can't control like her blob stuff happening. So Elliot dies, basically. He dies. The Decreator kills him, and it's for good. Kills him, and she's like so so sad about it. And like the acting was just so good, man. So good. So freaking good. But yeah, here's just Crazy Jane, Dr. Harrison personality. When she's Dr. Harrison, she's got like a silver streak in her hair, and she's got like these like piercing blue eyes that hypnotizes her victims. Here's Jane and Robot Man still stuck in Nirnheim with the crazy mother. Here's Niles talking to the Constantine-like character. So yeah, like she successfully manages to make a cult in the 70s, and then when it comes back to the present time, that cult of people from the 70s show up as older people in the present day at the prophesized moment that they're told to come and create the Recreator to fight the Decreator. And all this funny shit happens, man. It's so funny. Like, the show is so funny. Yeah, like, here they come out with the dog that they made, like, the book, and the dog, like, pukes out the Recreator from its mouth. I'm not even doing the show justice, man. Like, I just love this crazy shit. It's fucking great. Alright, so let's go off to, let me see, what was that? The Paw Patrol. Alright, so Doom Patrol, Episode 6. This was a really, really dark episode. Jane, Larry, and Rita visit a school where Niles' previous team of heroes has retired. So even though, don't play. So even though in this they're called the Doom Patrol, they're not calling themselves the Doom Patrol yet. In this, the Doom Patrol was actually a group of people from the 40s and 50s, and they got defeated by Mr. Nobody. So they go to visit them at their school, and they're all still young somehow, the original Doom Patrol gang. But it turns out that in this home, there's this character called Mento. This guy. Wait, not this guy. Rita had like a relationship with this guy back in the 50s when she first met him. Where is he? Where's Mento? I can't find Mento. Where are you, Mento? He's in this a lot. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding him. But yeah, Mento is basically like this character who has the ability to make illusions in your mind and see things that aren't actually true. Here he is. This is the guy. So yeah, like they come and visit the school, and there's two women who are in the Doom Patrol, and there's him, and they have like a bunch of students, and they're still young somehow, even though they're from like the 40s and 50s. But that's not how they actually look like. It turns out that Mento, he's using his mental powers to make them look young, and it's an illusion. But in reality, they're old. Like, they're old, and like, I mean, they're like demented and fucked up, and they're being taken care of by this guy named Joshua. This guy, he's like the caretaker that Niles hired to take care of them. He's got superpowers of his own that they don't really touch on, but that's why he's able to deal with it. But like, skip that. I'm trying to get a picture of how they actually look like. Is this it? Yeah, like, okay, so it's a bit blurry, this shot here. Get a better shot. Here we go. Alright, so look, here's the original Doom Patrol, right? The three of them. And there's Mento. He has like the helmet where he could do the mental illusions on you. That's how they used to look like, but they still think they look like that under his illusion. But like, and they're Joshua is like taking a picture of them, and you know they're still believing that they're still young, and in reality they actually look like. Oh, come on, give me a better. It's too dark, right? Can you guys see that? Well, here they are. Well, you can't see it as dark, but like here's Mento. He's an old man, and the other two are old women, and that's how they're living the rest of their days. So, dude, this was like just such a good episode. It was so deep. Like, I don't know how to explain it, man. This show hits something with me. It really does. Alright, episode 7, Therapy Patrol. After a violent outburst from Cliff, the team engages in some self-led group therapy. So episode 7 was not only an amazing episode, it was a hilarious episode at the end as well. So, like, Cliff is going through this whole thing. Hold on. No, don't play. I don't want copyright. I do not want copyright issues. Oh, in this episode also, Larry's negative energy guy is like trying to understand him more, so he's given him like made up memories of his old lover John over here, and like Larry and negative energy guy, like they can't connect yet. Like they're still trying to figure out each other, but they can't in this episode. And it's like some really great acting by this guy. Really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, they're just going over everybody. Vic is like trying to date again, and he finds out in this episode that he had a social media account for dating, and his father like kept him away from it. Like he turned it off in his grid system, and he's finding out like that his father has been controlling too much, and he hasn't been allowed to have a life and everything. So he's been getting angry about his father, and you know, he's still trying to accept the fact that he's Cyborg. And like I said, this guy who plays Cyborg, way better than the guy from the Snyder movie. I'm sorry. And Robot Man is like really going crazy in this. Like he's like acting weird. He's like all jolty and stuff. and like all of a sudden he wants to have like a group therapy session with people, with everybody, and hear everybody's stories. And it turns out that he's malfunctioning in this because there's a fucking mouse inside of him. I'm not even joking. Admiral Whiskers. Here it is, right here. So there's literally like this fucking hilarious moment where, like, in the last episode where they went on the bus to go to the town, in like the first episode, Cliff driving the bus accidentally runs over a little mouse's mom on the street, and Mr. Nobody like narrates to the mouse like, "You must seek vengeance, son. You must seek vengeance against this monster who murdered your mother." And he creates like this Admiral Whiskers, and Admiral Whiskers like tries to kill Cliff by going inside of Cliff and like making his whole body like malfunction. That's why in this episode he's acting all fucking crazy. He's seeing like illusions of Bump, who was his friend when he was a NASCAR driver. Bump, who turned out to be the guy fucking Cliff's wife and cheating with his wife too. And he finds out in this episode that Bump adopted Cliff Robot Man's daughter, Clara, after he was supposedly dead. So like he's so angry about Bump not only cheating with his wife, but also stealing his daughter and adopting her, and he's going through all of this like crazy stuff in this episode. Episode 7 for sure was another Brendan Fraser highlight. Let's go to episode 8, the Danny Patrol. Now this is where a lot of people are going to be, it's going to be controversial, and people are going to say to me, why do you like this shit? It's a sentient, genderqueer, teleporting street named Danny, and he's hunted by a secret government agency. Now, I'm sure this turned off a lot of people at the time, because it's all, everybody's, oh, woke, gay, woke, whatever. But I'll tell you something, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was funny. So basically picture like a street that like hides all the gays and the trans and all the people like that, and it fucking like teleports into different parts of the world, and the only way it stays alive is through constant partying and fucking and degeneracy. I actually find that hilarious. I don't know, dude. I just think it's fucking funny. I think it's hilarious. And like Danny is like a sentient street, and the way he talks to you when you come into it is like he'll talk to you through the signs, the windows, the fog, the smoke. It's really I think it's really creative what they did with that. I liked it a lot. That's just me though. But I could fully understand why like other people would be turned off by that. I'm not, not pushing it. But for me, I thought it was really funny. Let me go through this. So yeah, they're trying to find out where Niles is because Mr. Nobody kidnapped Niles. Danny knows a lot more than what they even tell you in this episode. You find out actually more about Danny in season 2, why he's connected to Niles. And this is one of Crazy Jane's crazy personalities named Karen. She's like this psycho bitch who like is obsessed with the 90s and romance stories, and she always goes back to this guy named Doug, and she has the ability to like cast a love spell on you and make you do whatever she wants. And like, but like she's the worst personality for Jane because like she tries to take over completely, and they're trying to figure out how to get her out of that whole situation, and it was hilarious. Let me see what else is there. This is a scene where Larry is like imagining himself singing on in the club at Danny Street, but he doesn't. He just imagines it, and he still chooses instead to be a recluse and to not like just open up a bit about his life. And had some good music in the show. Like, to me, another thing that I love about the show is not just the music that they pick, but if you listen closely to just the atmospheric ambient music that they use during like the really dark moments of this show, it's peak. Like, you know what the show reminds me of? It reminds me of Vampire the Masquerade. But not the shitty new game. The one that I used to play back in the day, the 2004 Troika game. Now, I didn't play it in 2004. I started playing that game in like 2017, 2018. I put a lot of hours into that, and I loved everything about that game. So, like, this show kind of reminds me of that because how weird and strange it gets. And like, it's like I just enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. and like this Department of Normalcy is trying to get at the Street of Danny, and all the denizens like they stand up together to fight back against the Department of Normalcy, and they win with the Doom Patrol obviously helping them out, and they figure out how to stop Karen from being crazy, and they bring back Jane. So yeah, a lot of stuff happens in that episode. Let's go to episode 9, The Jane Patrol. Oh, this is a really good episode. The Jane Patrol. Let me make sure that it's going to play. I don't want no copyright. Come on. Come on. Load up. Load up. Alright, so the Jane Patrol. Jane retreats to the underground, a treacherous place deep within her own mind space. So basically, Jane has like 64 personalities, right? So she has this thing called the underground. So picture it like literally she has a whole system in her mind. And every time another personality has to come up, they go through like a subway train. It's hilarious. And there's like these different places for them. But this is like really a dark and deep episode because, obviously we all suspected that Jane is a traumatized woman who was, clearly like molested or something. Yeah, molested when she was a child. So this episode kind of covers that without getting too, but it's some really good stuff, man. Like, it's so dark. And, not just this episode. Like, I mean, a lot of episodes, dude, between Brandon Fraser's performance, the woman who plays Rita Farr, the guy who plays Larry, the parts with Crazy Jane and Niles, dude. Like, I'm telling you, dude, like, their performances made me go to tears plenty of times, man. But yeah, like, the Jane Patrol was definitely one of those episodes because she wants to basically kill herself in this. And so you find out actually in this that Jane wasn't actually the first main personality of her body. There was Kay, who was the child, right, before she was, and then there was Miranda, who took over, but then Miranda apparently killed herself by jumping into something called the well. So she jumps down the well to, like, erase herself. So Jane in this wants to erase herself by going deep down into the darkest pits of her mind and erasing herself through the well. And, she's in a coma while all of this is happening. And the family, Robot Man, Larry, and Rita, and Cyborg, they're, like, all around her, and they don't know what to do. And luckily, the Negative Man comes out, and he puts his hand on Jane's head and Robot Man's head and connects them. And it allows Robot Man, Cliff, to enter into her mind as himself as human Cliff, because it's in the mind. And, like, he's learning about the underground, the different personalities and everything. And he learns about what happened to her as a child. He figures it all out, basically. And, yeah, there's some crazy stuff in this episode. It's really good. I can't even cover everything that happens. She's got, like, this other personality, this, like, English personality that's very shy, that follows her around, and it's very loyal, but she doesn't go as far, she doesn't go into the dark with her. And they show you some scenes of Jane when she was homeless, and here, like, she was, like, being nice to a homeless dog before she got kidnapped by the orderlies from the mental hospital. I mean, it's just fantastic, dude. I'm telling you, there's something about this show that does it for me. It just does it for me. I love this shit so much. Let me see here. Hold on. But yeah, dude, like, she's always so pissed off at Brandon Fraser and stuff, even though he's trying to help her. And she faces, like, her demon, the father. She faces the father at the end of it. And he becomes, like, this giant fucking monster. Literally, if I could get a shot of it. Hold on. He becomes like this giant monster, and he almost kills Cliff, and that, like, triggers her to finally fucking throw down and face him, and, like, push him down into the well to save Cliff. And then there's, like, this beautiful scene where they finally, after the final fight, they're on the subway train to head back out of her mind, and they're, like, at peace with each other. And it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful, this show. I don't know why people don't talk about it. I really don't. But, like, to me, this is art. And not just art. This is one of the greatest superhero shows I probably ever watched. I mean, it's generic to call it a superhero show because it's beyond that. It's something more. I don't know how else to say it. So, episode 10, The Hair Patrol. Vic and Rita find the mansion infiltrated by Ernest Franklin, who has been activated to find Niles. So this episode is actually kind of a nice break from all the dark, serious stuff. And literally, there's a guy who has the ability to eat beard hair and then track down whoever it is. And it tells him everything about that person, their entire life, everything. This weird guy, he's able to, like, eat beard hair and track you down. So, like, this is like while Robot Man and Crazy Jane were in a coma in the last episode, they show us what was happening with Rita Cyborg, during that episode, and they were like having a whole thing with the Beard Hunter, and this guy who played the Beard Hunter was like, just fucking hilarious, man. He was hilarious. I can't even. He was just so funny. It was the weirdest thing, and yet it was so funny. And why this episode was also really cool, it tells you more about Niles, Dr. Niles, and you find out that he was once a part of the Department of Normalcy, right? But before it was called the Department of Normalcy, it was called the Department of Oddities. So originally their intent was, the government, was to go out, explore, and find odd things and document it and record it, for archival reasons, research reasons. But as the World War came, the department turned into the Department of Normalcy, which is about going after the oddities, containing the oddities, and eradicating the oddities. So he's out in the woods looking for like this demon bear wolf thing with his friend, and him and his friend are like out at night in the Yukon, and they get surrounded by fucking wolves, and he's taking a shit, and he gets attacked by the wolves, and his friend saves Niles, and then his friend gets attacked by like a pack of wolves, and Niles like runs away like a bitch. He runs away like a bitch, but he gets saved by like this giant beast, the giant wolf demon that he was originally looking for. Well, it turns out that this giant wolf demon is just like some sort of familiar or spirit that's conjured up by this cave woman. I'm showing you later signs. I'm trying to find when they first meet each other. So he meets like this like cave woman who's like immortal, and she's like the last of her tribe. And he's living with her for a while because she's keeping him alive. She's bringing him fish, food. She's kind of keeping him as a pet. And she had other men apparently with her. But Niles is a special guy. This is the first man that she actually falls in love with. They fall in love with each other, and Niles becomes like a caveman himself a little bit. But like she's like a classic, like I don't know if Neanderthal is the right word to use. She's not really like, I don't know if Neanderthal, because she's like a woman, but she's got kind of like a apish face, and she's got like hair there. And she's got like hair on her body, like, because there's a scene where he's making love to her, and she's like, she's got like hair on her breast and stuff. Like there he is like feeling up her hairy breast, you know what I mean? But like, it was really good, dude. Like the acting in the show is just believable. It's believable. So yeah, like he becomes like a true hunter out, and this, when this was happening with him and the Cro-Magnon woman that he meets, that's immortal. This is like in the 1900s, like 1913 or something. So that's the origin story of him a little bit. There he is traveling with her, hunting with her. But it gets fucked up because the friend that he was with that got mauled by all the wolves shows back up, and he's working for the Department of Normalcy. And he knows that Niles is with the cave woman, and he wants to, hurt her, obviously, bring her in. And Niles fucking kills his best friend to protect her. And then he goes back to civilization, basically, to lie and to cover up the fact that she ever existed. So he sacrificed this new life that he made for himself as, like, Cro-Magnon Niles, living in the Yukon, and he loved this life. He sacrificed all of that, and being with the woman that he finally loved, he sacrificed all that to protect her. So it was just unbelievable storytelling. Like, dude, you know what it made me think of? Have you guys ever read any of Lovecraft's books, like not just Dagon. There's this story, the Yukon specifically reminded me. I don't know, it might have been one of his first short stories I read in the book, where there's a man that goes inside a dark cave and he gets lost, and like there's this like monster inside of it, and he has to kill it at one point, and then when he finally sees what it was, it's another man that was like in the cave for so long he basically became like this like albino monster. But what I'm saying is, not that it's the same story, but the way they did the Yukon story and Niall's origin story was very Lovecraftian. So I fucking love this shit. So yeah, Mr. Nobody finds out about the girl that he loves, and he's trying to find out, like, where is she? Where is she? But it's not just the Cro-Magnon woman that is going to become a plot, right? I'll tell you more about it after. So, I mean, it just gets deeper and deeper, this show. I'm telling you, deeper and deeper. So the beard hunter, he eats this essence of Niall's beard, and it leads him to Danny Street, and then it leads him to this place called the Dollhouse. And then the Dollhouse has like this weird stairway that leads to somewhere. And he goes into the room, and there's this doll, and then there's the giant dog wolf beast that scares the shit out of the Beard Man. Doesn't kill him, because Beard Man ends up staying in Danny Street. We find out later on in some episodes. Alright, so let me go to... hey, no. Hold on. Episode 11. Francis Patrol. While Larry pays a visit to his lost love, John, Cliff travels with Rita down to Gator Country. So this was another heartfelt episode, man. Like, a really fucking good episode. Let me kind of go down here. So, Cliff is, like, very angry about some things. I think they found out in the last episode that, No, I'm mixing it up. I'm sorry. But anyway, he's angry about some stuff, and he wants to go to Florida and finally meet his daughter. Because he heard on the news that Bump, the guy who adopted Clara, Cliff's daughter, Bump was eaten by an alligator named Francis. So he finds that out, and he goes to Florida to finally see his daughter in person. And he's like, and the episode starts off with John and Larry, doing their thing in a motel, but it's not an actual memory. It's created by the negative energy, because the negative energy is trying to tell Larry that John is on his last days and that he should go visit him. Because John is an old man now, actually, in this time. So the negative energy is telling Larry, at the least you should do is fucking go see how he's doing. And actually, not even that, this dream that he sees of his lover John, it's not even just a dream, because we find out that John, who's an old man now, he had the same dream, and they were actually talking to each other in this fantasy. So that was really cool. Really cool. Let me see. So yeah, Rita goes with Cliff to a bar where Clara is having her wake for Bump. And right when Cliff is about to try to talk to Clara, he chickens out, basically, and she's like making a speech about Bump. And he finds out the detail that Bump had a watch that Clara gave him. The watch that her father, Cliff, gave her. Or I don't know if she got it because he died. But basically, Bump had Cliff's watch, which was a golden watch, and it had all the writing in the back of it. So Bump, when he got eaten by Francis the alligator, the watch was inside the alligator. So Cliff is like, all right, look, I can't talk to Clara. This is his daughter here. I'm afraid to talk to her, Rita, but I'm going to just do some action. So Rita and Cliff go out into the swamp to find Francis the alligator. And, they take hours and hours and they can't find him. But eventually when he does, he gets the watch. And he goes back to the bar. And Clara sees him. She's like a waiter at the bar. She's, I'll be right with you, sir. And he's waiting for her. And he doesn't wait for her. He leaves the golden watch on the table and leaves the bar for her. So, I mean, it was some great stuff here, man. Great stuff. Again, Rita, tops. Larry was tops here. He comes to visit John. John is like an old man now at this point. There's John. That was his lover when he was young in the 50s and 60s. Now he's an old man on his dying breath, and they're talking to each other about life and everything, and they're making jokes like John is like, wait, you mean to tell me, Larry, that you haven't fucked anybody since JFK? You know, like stuff like that. And then there's some good stuff with Jane and Cyborg going on here. There's this scene where they're at the swamp, Rita and Cliff trying to look for Francis the alligator. And it's really cool, like, just to see a big robot tromping through the swamp. So yeah, John dies on the spot next to Larry, and it's just great. It's just fantastic acting. It's just so good. It's hard not to love Larry. It really isn't. But yeah, like, let me go on to... we just got a couple more here, guys, so hold on. Let me make sure this is all good. Episode 12, The Cyborg Patrol. With Vic captured and held at the ant farm, his father hatches a plan to break him out. So yeah, in the last episode, Cyborg gets captured by the Department of Normalcy. And he's got a prison mate next to him called 722, who turns out to be a very important character later on. So they're all trying to figure out how they're going to get Vic out of the Department of Normalcy, which we also find out that Niles worked at and Silas worked at. So Silas, the father of Cyborg, helps the Doom Patrol get in, but it's like a trap. They know it's going to be a trap, though. So they allow themselves to get captured by the Department of Normalcy. And, you know, they do all... I won't tell you every detail, but they figure out, like, how to get out of it. There's some funny moment here where there's, like, this conceited woman talking to Cliff, like, oh, you're nothing. You're why are we even keeping you? Blah, blah, blah. You're just a toaster oven. And we have a toaster oven that's sarcastic and more important than you are. And Cliff is like, you conceited bitch. And Rita is, like, hiding inside of Cliff here. And she, like, globs out of him eventually. And when the conceited bitch comes back in the room, she, like, takes Cliff off of the magnet. And he falls down on her body. It's hilarious, bro. Fucking hilarious. We got some more flashbacks to tell us more about Larry here. Let me see. Yeah, guys, so I'm just getting a little tired here. Just a little tired. Yeah, I think, holy shit, how long have I been doing this video? I don't even know how long I've been recording this. Damn. Alright, so a big moment that happens here. Cyborg literally almost murders his own father because Mr. Nobody tricks him into believing that his father didn't care what he was doing to him and that he was turning Cyborg into more of a cyborg. But it turns out it was just a trick by Mr. Nobody. And, you know, you got this scene. He doesn't kill his father. The father makes it, but he really beats him up badly. Okay, so this is where, like, it really gets really good, too. Episode 13, The Flex Patrol. This is where Flex Mentallo comes in. After escaping the ant farm with Flex Mentallo, the Doom Patrol tries to restore his memory. So Flexi Boy here literally lived inside of a comic book advertisement, and somehow the Department of Normalcy pulled him out of that comic and made him forget his entire life as Flex Mentallo. And literally, what does Flex Mentallo do? He has the ability to flex any muscle and do anything. Make anything come out into existence, change existence itself, break anything just by flexing his muscles. It's hilarious, man. It's absolutely hilarious. And I don't even know the guy who plays Flex. Is he like a wrestler? He looks familiar. That's not Randy Ortiz, is it? Flex Mentallo, actor, Doom Patrol. Devon Chandler Long. He looks like a wrestler, right? He made me think of Randy Ortiz or that one of those guys from WWE. But yeah, anyway, they're trying to get him to remember who he was because Flex Mentallo is the only guy, the key to them finding Niles, because Niles is being held captive by Mr. Nobody, who lives in the white space of the comic book, basically. And Flex Mentallo is the only guy capable of transporting them into that white space of the comic book. So they can't they it takes them a long time to figure out how to get him back, but they find his wife, Dolores from the comic, and she's an old woman now that the Department of Normalcy was using to round up people for like decades. And when they finally remember who they were, a weapon triggers on her and she like disappears and dies. So like, yeah, that sucks. That sucks for him. Oh, here we found out more about Rita, about why she's so tormented. We saw in one of the episodes in her nightmares, she saw a young girl with her wrist cut open. We find out what it was. She was working for this director, and the director had a thing for this young actress, and Rita was hooking him up with her, and like, you know, keeping them going with each other, and she was becoming a starlet, this girl, and the director knocked her up eventually, and she had a baby. And Rita, what did Rita do? She gave this girl $100 and let her go to, you know, survive on her own. And then she found out like a week later that that girl killed herself. She killed herself. And we don't know what happened to the baby, but Rita said, well, I thought about taking the baby in to raise myself after what I did, but then everything started working out for me. I was becoming a star and this and that, and that's when she became Rita Farr. But obviously, like, she walked with that guilt her whole life. I mean, that was pretty shitty what she did. That was pretty shitty. So we found out more about her in this episode, too. So some great stuff there. And Flex Mentallo finally remembers who he is. And what happens here? Sorry, guys. I am just getting a little tired. This is a long video. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, actually. Oh, this is a funny part. So, I think this is the episode where they break into the Department of Normalcy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is when they finally figure out how they're going to get to Mr. Nobody. And that goes on to the next episode. The penultimate patrol. The Doom Patrol lands on the threshold of rescuing the Chief from the clutches of Mr. Nobody. And in episode 15, after the members of the Doom Patrol go their separate ways, they must reunite to help the Chief. So basically, hold on. A lot of crazy stuff happens in here. I'm gonna make this short because I'm getting tired. But all this crazy stuff happens. The robot comes back. I mean the mouse comes back. Admiral Whiskers. The cockroach, an evangelical cockroach, shows up and thwarts Mr. Nobody's plans. And then Mr. Nobody ends up having to help out the Doom Patrol because things just got way out of hand. Way out of hand. It's a lot to cover. It's a whole other subject for another time. But I'm getting tired, so I'm just going to end it on this. We find out that Niles has a daughter named Dorothy. And the way they're doing Dorothy is amazing. I'm just absolutely loving it. Dorothy was the girl that he had with the cave woman. And she's immortal, and she's 11 years old looking, but she's actually been alive for like 110 years. And he kept her basically imprisoned in Danny Street underneath that doll shop. So season 2, she comes out of it, and that's a whole other thing now. They're trying to raise her and figure out what to do. She's dangerous, though, because she's got like this one spirit that's capable of basically destroying the whole world. She has no idea how to control it. So she's dangerous in that aspect. And Niles has been doing all of these experiments. It turns out that he caused all of the accidents to hurt Larry, Robot Man, Rita, and Jane. He caused all of this to happen in their life because they're just experiments to figure out how he could extend his life and be immortal as long as he can to take care of Dorothy and live as long as she does to watch over her, basically. So the Doom Patrol finds out that their entire life was just being guinea pigs for Niles. So yeah, man. So, I'm fucking tired, guys. I'm tired out. Thanks for listening this long if you've been watching. If you enjoyed it, let me know your comments. Any Doom Patrol fans in here, please let me know your thoughts. Did you like Doom Patrol? Yes or no? If you read the comics, did it live up to your expectations of the comics? Season 1. I will eventually make a Season 2 video when I'm up for it. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment as you see fit. Have a good rest of your day.